Hey guys, it's Vara, and today I wanted to really take a deep dive into Black Desert Online and Bless Online. I really wanted to compare these games because even though they're in the same category of games, they're completely different. I wanted to really start out with performance. In Bless, this is one of the main problems with the game. This is such a big problem. We're only a few weeks into Bless's release, and the game has lost a completely huge percent of players. What's the point in having a game if the game can't even be played? That's the way that I see it. In Bless, the lag is intense. The micro-freezing is intense as well. Sometimes abilities won't activate properly, load screens will crash the game, and overall the server stability isn't that great. They have tried to fix this a bit, but they haven't done a great job with it. Black Desert Online has some pretty bad pop-in issues with NPCs and specific textures, but it doesn't make the game completely unplayable. It's just unappealing to the eye. Black Desert has had its fair share of server lag issues, but no micro-freezing or ability timing problems. Also, Black Desert doesn't really have any load screens unless the game is really having to catch up with itself, so that's not a problem at all. For me, Black Desert takes the cake. UI and accessibility. Black Desert has the best character customization system in any game I've ever played, and Bless honestly is a close second. The main difference is sliders. Bless has a lot of sliders and Black Desert has a small amount of sliders. Honestly, I prefer freestyling it and not using sliders, so it didn't bother me much. In Bless, logging in for the first time and with trying to play, there's a few things that are pretty noticeable. The translations are like something from Google Translate. Things don't specify what you need to do or tell you to do something completely different. Black Desert has its share of misspells and poor translations, but you can understand the gist of what an ability says to do. Along with that, the UI is pretty rough. It looks big and clunky, and unfortunately you can't change the size of it or customize it at all. In Black Desert, the UI is very changeable, which is super nice. You can scale it, move everything around. It's a really nice system. One thing in Bless that I absolutely hate is the camera. So usually a camera sits upon a player's shoulders and you can move the angles, but nope. It sits right at their lower back and it's so unflattering. It really bothers me. I didn't think it was going to bother me, but it's really awful. Black Desert for me takes the cake again for UI and accessibility. So the combat. Black Desert is labeled as action combat and Bless is labeled as an action tab target, but it's not very good at that. Black Desert's combat is a very fast and smooth, well, most of the time unless you're having some kind of server issues. Occasionally there's problems with your weapons not drawing, so you have to unequip and re-equip them, but actually the combat is very smooth and fast-paced. Bless has a lot of cooldown problems. They had a great idea with the combat though, it just was poorly executed. The idea of combo targeting was great in my opinion. I had a ton of fun with it. Also, both of them have amazing combat animation. I adore Black Desert and Bless's animations. They're eye-catching yet not too over the top. These two games have totally different combat from one another. One is target combo and the other is action combat. Because these games are both different, yet their styles are great, I'm going to call it an even tie because it's not particularly fair to compare them to one another. It's all personal preference on which you like to play. Both games have minor combat issues, so you have to keep that in mind. For the progression, Bless feels very slow when you have to grind the same dungeon a bunch of times in a row, or you have to quest, and running around is less than great. Black Desert, you have tons of options, but there isn't raids or actual endgame, and Black Desert has no level cap, so it does have infinite progression. For content, both games are kind of lacking. Black Desert Online has a many upon many world bosses, grind areas, and Bless has, well, 2 dungeons at endgame. Both games are seriously lacking, and I know in Bless, in a few weeks they're adding more content in, but that doesn't mean it'll be a lot of content or enough to even hold people back from giving up or getting bored in the game. Even though Bless didn't launch the best, I wanted to give it a few extra weeks, and it's only gotten worse. I mean, speed hackers, fly hacking, it's awful and they've done barely anything about it. And Black Desert has had its share of hackers, but they've always fixed it as soon as they got wind of it. Overall, I personally think Black Desert Online wins, but let me know in the comments down below what you think and which game is the winner for you. Honestly, Black Desert to me is just a more fun, more smooth game, but Bless does have its own abilities and its own feats, like pet taming and such. So make sure to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys again really soon. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you enjoyed and want to watch more of my content. If you want to support me in what I do here on YouTube, ways such as my Patreon are linked in the descriptions of every video I make. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys again really soon.